We're gonna start again. This is the second clip that we have split up the video into two halves in order for us to be able to control the content of the video for editing. So right now, let's get back to our essay correcting and pronunciation fixing. Okay, here comes the sentence. How could you imagine a guy with t-shirts and flip-flops all day before must wear a suit and tie? And I could say, how can you imagine that a creative person was forced to work under strictly discipline? The first, the first, the first mistake right here is okay. We have the word like t-shirt, and as you know that t-shirt is a countable noun. So whenever you mention noun in English, you need to make sure if that is a countable noun, you need to make its plural form because we use the plural form as as the structure for us to generally talk about something. But if you want to be more specific or more detailed, you need to use an or how many exactly, how many t-shirts does he have, for example. So right here, you generally talk about something. So we need to use t-shirt, plural form of it. Second of all, must wear suit and tie, but in your recording, you pronounce the word S-U-I-T, that is sweet or sweet or something like that. No, that just say that suit. Oh, suit and tie. And the third mistake right here is the phrase how I could say, how can I imagine? That is not say. If you say you are going to give one sentence, I say that I'm going to have lots of projects this year. This year is such a successful year, for example. But here that is not. But here in this sentence, how can you imagine? It's not a sentence, and in this situation, it's also not a question. So right here, if you want to put a question in the form of a sentence, you need to you need to switch or get the positions of the word can and you to you and can. So how you can imagine that is the first correction of this sentence. I could wonder, or I could raise questions, or I could come to my curiosity. How you can imagine that? How you can imagine that a creative person, or I could question myself. How is it possible for a creative person to be able to be forced to work under strictly disciplined ways? So right here, you use the word like discipline as an adjective in English, and strictly as a verb. Adverb goes with adjective, and after that, after adjective, you need to have a noun. So right here, under strictly discipline, under strictly discipline regulation, or under strictly discipline system. So right here, okay, here goes the corrected sentence of this big sentence. How could you imagine? So the big question right here is how could you imagine? So right here at the end of your sentence, you cannot use a full stop. You need to use a question. Yeah, so right here is like this when you write, but you provide an essay to me in the form of recording. So it is impossible for us to double check on the way you write. This is the reason why we need to spend a bit of time. We need to spend a bit of time on writing everything back on a piece of paper, which is the word right here, in order for us to fix your grammar and structure based on the written English, both written English and spoken English. So right here it goes. How could you imagine a guy with t-shirts and flip-flops all day before must wear a suit and tie? And I could come to my curiosity. How could a creative person is forced to work under strictly disciplined system? Okay, so right here we need to replace the word under with the word in strictly disciplined system. That is the first one. The second one, okay, the second one, that is, how can you imagine? Elite, how can you imagine? Because this is not spoken English. If you say that, how can you imagine? Yeah, it's okay for spoken English. But right here, again, we need an essay from, we don't need an essay from you, but it's your suggestion to write out an essay. So right now, again, everything you record is considered to be an essay. So first, fix the pronunciation. Second of all, fix the grammar too. So right here, okay, here comes the final piece of this sentence: correction in grammar and correction in pronunciation. Let's start. First of all, let's repeat together. Imagine flip-flops, suit and tie. Creative person is forced in strictly disciplined system. So here comes the big sentence right here. How could you imagine a guy with t-shirts and flip-flops all day before must wear suit and tie? And I could come to my curiosity. I could come to my curiosity that how is it possible for a creative person to be forced to work in strictly disciplined system? So this word should be replaced with the word like in, okay, in strictly discipline system. And second of all, okay, this one should be is, okay, because everything needs to be written in present simple. And last one is I could come to my curiosity again, or I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe, or I could come to, I could come to my doubts, or I could come to my curiosity, how it is how it is possible for a creative person to be forced to be forced to work in strictly disciplined system. Okay, so it's like this. You need to remind yourself of one thing whenever you write. If you make sure to yourself that that is your sentence. So that is a sentence. So okay, so that is a sentence. So whatever you want to whatever you want to write in the form of question, you need to tell yourself subject verb not is our subject, not can go subject. So everything needs to be put after subject. Okay, so question word right here, and subject and everything need to be put after subject. So that is I have to give you my lecture based on, I have to give you my lecture in spoken English in order to help you to improve your listening skill and your pronunciation. Yeah, that's it. But I cannot give you a grammar lecture based on written English. We are going to have that kind of class later, but right now everything is going to be performed and conducted in spoken English, just so you know. So right here next, no, he told me that, or he said to me that, or he said that. He completely lost all his enthusiasm for the very first time because of the repetition thing. Okay, thing, no, don't symbolize your English like this. Miss, okay, thing, no, you should use the word like factor. So right here, he told me that the word told, okay, is so much, okay, for it's so much like spoken English. Yes, of course, right now it's spoken English, but right here, you can say that he informed me that he completely lost all of his enthusiasm for the very first time because of the repetition factor or because of the repetition issue the repetition issue. Going home after time work. No, this is so Vietnamese means you need to switch it backwards like this. Work going home after work. Don't use time. Don't use time. Don't use time to go with the word work, or don't use time to go with the word study. You can use study time or work time, but it's so much Asian English, British or American English. They just use the word study and work alone. Nobody makes up a combination of work time or study time. Just so you know, we can choose whether to use Asian English or proper academic English. They went slowly. No, no, no. They go slowly. There's a present signal. Hello. Though there is not any energy left and no more motivation. But fortunately, in the most terrifying moment in his life, he has a destined meeting by chance with his Japanese boss. So right here, okay, so right here, let's practice the pronunciation because there are lots of words that you have pronounced wrong in your recording. The first one, energy. Second, motivation. Third, fortunately. Fortunately. Fourth, terrifying, not terrifying, terrifying. Fifth, moment. Sixth, destined, destined, not destined, destined. Seventh, chance, not chance. Okay, chance. So right here, let's practice reading the sentence. There is not any energy left and no more motivation, but unfortunately, in the most terrifying moment in his life, he has a destined meeting by chance with his Japanese boss. Okay, so right here, they had an open up talking at lunch. The boss demonstrate the quality. The boss demonstrates one of the qualities. So right here, okay, is the rest of the sentence. One of the qualities of a successful person is patience. First of all, this one have they have an open up. Okay, they have an open. Okay, in English, in Vietnamese we say that open up your heart. Okay, but in English they only use one word like open. It's an adjective to say that okay, your topic is open. You can talk about so many things. Okay, during the time of your dialogue. So right here, they have an open talking. No, talk can be used as an action verb in English, and it also can be used as a noun in English. They have an open talk. They have an open talk at lunch. The boss I demonstrate something to somebody. I demonstrate somebody something. So the boss demonstrates him. The boss demonstrate him one of the qualities of a successful person is patient. Oh no, the boss demonstrate to him one of the qualities of a successful person, which is patient. You cannot use two kinds of verbs into one sentence in this sentence, okay, first of all, you use an action verb that is demonstrate, and second of all, you use is again, that is the second verb, but two verbs, okay, action verb and to be verb in one sentence. That is so typical, that is such a typical mistake of Asian students. So right here, whenever you want to combine a to be verb or another action verb after a long sentence, please try to use which. Okay, right here we are talking about the quality of a successful person. Somehow, which is patience. So right here, the boss demonstrates to him, demonstrate to somebody about something, or demonstrate to somebody something, demonstrates to him one of the qualities of a successful person, which is patience. Learn the rule first, then okay, then bracket, then bracket. Unless you are a good follower, very good word, a very good sentence the bus share, no? Shares. The bus shares. Miss, please pay attention to the subject and verb agreement once you speak or write. So whenever you want to talk about he, she, it, please try to use verb s. Whenever you want to talk about I wish you they, verb no s. Very easy, right? We are going to get used to this way. The boss shares. He totally, oh no, I totally agree. Totally can be used with the word agree. But without the word agree, totally is it's such like a saying for somebody, okay, for somebody to announce to somebody else once they start to calculate the bill. So don't use the words totally like this. Please just use something like he definitely, okay. he definitely or he absolutely holds okay onto the boss advice. He feels ready to encounter this discipline, but this time okay, he feels ready. He feels ready to get to adapt to this discipline. It means that he tries his best to make himself become accustomed to this kind of discipline. He feels ready to adapt to this discipline, but this time he tries understanding. But this time he tries understanding the reason, but this time he tries understanding the reason why people have to stick on it without dissident opinions. So right here, whenever we use the word strive, it's much more about positive situations. Whenever I try something, I'm going to get it. I'm going to reach my hands to accomplish that kind of thing. But here in this situation, it means that you try very hard to understand the reason. So why not? Why not use the word like make efforts in? That is the first one. The second mistake right here, try verbing. No, seriously. Once you said a try verbing, it means that you want to check whether you yourself be able to interact with that kind of thing or not. It's like I don't know how to use the phone, so right now I'll try using the phone for the very first time in my life. So try it's not me trying very hard to do something. It's just me, okay, want to see how I will interact with the phone, how good it is for me to use the phone. So right here, please don't misunderstand the word try. The grammars try to do something or try verbing. Try verbing. Just want to see okay the interaction between yourself and that kind of thing. But here again, it should be try to understand. But right here, what if you want to say that you try very hard for something, you should use the phrase like make efforts in understanding the reason why people have to stay on the discipline. Don't use it once you sound serious in your written forms. Right here, okay, please try to use the word discipline, okay, on the discipline, the disciplines again with the dissident opinions. He becomes a type of gifted. He becomes a type of gifted. No, because you said if you were to say the gifted, you need to have a noun here. He becomes a type of gifted a person. No, he becomes a type of he becomes a type of a gifted person. So it sounds a little bit like mumbling when we write like this. He becomes a typical type. Okay, at least add some adjectives to go with the noun in order to make your noun sound and sound and clear. So right here, he becomes a typical type of a gifted person who poses enormous types in his comedy. I don't understand this phrase. You need to double check on your writing again, and please let me know later. After some years is a noun in English. Whenever you want to combine two nouns together, please try to use of. And right here, learning is not an action verb anymore. Once you use ing to go with an action verb, that action verb ing is already turned to become a noun in English. So right here, after some years of carefully learning, oh hello, right here, learning is not an action verb anymore. So we need to use adjective to go with the noun. So after some years of careful learning, he starts to apply his all of his he starts to apply all of his creativity into his teaching method. He has completely changed. Okay, boring. theories into interesting practical experience. Not only, if we use the word not only at the beginning of the sentence, please remember one rule. Do, does, did, have to stand at the beginning of the sentence. Or you can understand in a simple way like this, which is not only at the beginning of the sentence, please use the question, yes, no question. So right here, not only does he know of that knowledge, but also know about, also have knowledge, or also have knowledge about how to apply it into real life. Okay, about how to apply it into real life. So right here, the sentence should be like this. So rule number one: whenever you use not only at the beginning of the sentence, after not only, please add, not a sentence at all. Please add yes, no question. This is the rule. For example, not only have I been studying English for so many years, but I also have been working in this creative way for more than 12 years, for example. So not only we need to use yes, no question. Please remember this one. Not only does he know a very good way to use. You remember the structure we've studied together. Thank you so much. Not only does he know of that knowledge, but he also have knowledge about how to apply it into real life, or how to make real life applications. He becomes okay. He becomes the most excellent teacher, the most unique. You already used the word the most. So right here, we don't need to use the most anymore. And please try to add the word teacher at the end. Okay, at the end of like this, at the end of the last adjective. So right here, he becomes the most excellent uh, and unique teacher. The one of a kind in his academic. Okay, I understand right here. He becomes the most excellent, and okay, again, in order to separate these two, you have to say that he becomes uniquely the most excellent student, or he becomes the most uniquely excellent student. So because right here, we want to say that how excellent he is. He is one of a kind, and nobody can copy his way or get his creative way to become a teacher just like him. He becomes the most uniquely excellent teacher. And the so-called, you can say the so-called means everybody considers you as a person like this. So when it comes to me, a new person to a new person to you, I just listen to other people around me. Again, I just follow what they said about you. So I will say that a so-called teacher, a so-called manager. So the so-called one of a kind in his academic is not a noun in English, miss. Academic is an adjective. So you need to put one more noun in his academic field. For some years later, he establishes his own his own academy. Academy is a very big school. Yeah, okay, he established his own academy and completely accomplishes. Oh, he establishes his own academy and completely accomplishes. And what I come to realization out here is sometimes being negative. Yes, yes, okay. Right here, for some years later, he establishes his own academy and completely accomplishes, okay, and completely accomplishes. And please, okay, right here, okay, and we can say that, and we can say that surprisingly, surprisingly to raise you need to use this word to raise your question. Surprisingly, what I come to realization here. Don't say out whenever you want to put okay a second word, just like Vietnamese. Never ever put that kind of Vietnamese word into English. Use your feelings to eliminate the wrong word. So what I come to realization here is sometimes being negative, okay, sometimes being negative will path away for positives, okay, for positives. And what we in need to do, and what we are in need to do. If you want to use the structure in need, you need to remind yourself one thing to be in need of. I am in need of knowledge. I need to upgrade my mindset with lots of science and scientific neurological mindset, for example. So what we are in need of doing is being patient, in need of verbing. Don't use in need to do, miss. In need of doing is being patient. Though we are young, we are creative. Yet it means, however, society only one, the society operates its own path. It's always and maybe okay. It's always and what is wrong? It's always and maybe we didn't taught at school. We used the word teach. I teach you English. You are taught English. Teach, taught, taught. That is the passive voice. So, and maybe we are not taught at school by our teacher. So every rule has its meaning, or you can say that. So I can put okay it this way. I can put it this way, which means again, which means if you want to say that this is the way you think about it, or this is how you use okay your verbal English to express your emotions or to express your thoughts. You will use the phrase I can put it this way, which means every rule had its meaning. Before you want to violate, not violate, like in the recording you pronounce, violate the rule, you must considerable aware. Aware is an adjective. To go with an adjective, you need to use a verb that is considerably aware. That is the first one. The second mistake here, aware is an adjective. So please use to be, that is be, to go with adjective. To be um, must be considerably aware, and aware cannot stand alone. You need to use of with aware to be aware of it. Be a follower first, leader form later. So right here, okay, that is the finished point of our essay, of your essay. Okay, so it seems like it's very easy for you to speak, but once we conduct a lecture, we need to make sure that you will have visions of the product, and also the clear knowledge based on the listening. Vision here means what you can see on the screen, what you can see from the teacher, and listening here that means what you can get from the listening skill in English. So in order to perform like this, we need to have a bit of time, okay, to conduct the lecture. So okay, for the two other videos we are trying to produce, okay, we are in the process of producing and try to send them back to you, okay, during this week. But first of all, once you receive this, okay, this lecture on this essay, please try to take notes of the structures and the vocabularies in this from this video, because I am going to use those kinds of structures and vocabularies which I have already corrected in this video into the lecture of the next class. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much for waiting for ESD to come up with a lovely idea of the word image in order to get your a little bit of enthusiasm raised for essay correction, pronunciation practice. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and good night.